Focus.
Anyway, right. Here we are. We are, after somewhat of a hiatus, back at the back bar.
Hey.
It's I did a little bit of maths. It might be right, might be wrong, but I believe this is now episode number 30. We've ditched seasons and whatnot. We're just going with episode numbers. Yeah. So I counted back the way, and I believe this is number 30. I might be off by one. That is a milestone. The 30th birthday is a big thing, so the 30th podcast must be as well, right?
Very good. Yeah, and our whole like seasons and stuff, that's not for any reason other than the fact that there's too much effort for us to try and work it out.
Yeah.
Did you buy me a present?
And yes. Did I buy you a present?
I like it. It's my 30th birthday.
I bought you a Huel t-shirt. So
we've already discussed this.
And I bought you the shite protein bars.
No sponsorship for Huel there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, can we beep their name out of this?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Boy.
So yeah, it's been a while, about 3 months since the last episode we did.
3 months, really?
3 months, yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't think it was as long as that.
Oh, I've been having my own podcast just to myself.
Telling Amanda I'm way to the podcast.
All I do is I log into Zoom and there's no one else there, so I can just talk to myself, and it's amazing because no one gives me shit, no one flags me, and everything I say, I go, "Oh, that's a really good point." So you should try it sometime.
Or I'd end up arguing with myself and probably punch myself.
So what did you say?
Alaina's one-man podcast ends up through the laptop through the window.
That would happen. I'm not going to lie.
So, what has been obviously the last 3 months, real life stuff took over now that there are no pandemic restrictions, etc. We can actually go and do shit. What's been happening? Any big news, lads? Anyone do anything big? Anyone buy any big pile of bricks constructed in a certain way?
Yeah. I got a house.
Well-shaped bricks. Congratulations, Martin.
So, I mean, I don't know what you guys done with your royalty money for the podcast, but it's obviously made it a lot easier for me to purchase this. So, for everyone that listens in, like, you've basically bought me a house. So, thank you so much.
Got yourself a turret with a flag, you know.
Yeah, flag. I've got llamas.
Lord
llamas now. I've got like a field of llamas. And I've got 21 kookaroos. So yeah,
I feel like Dice Clay and Johnny's Bananas. I need to redo my deal. All I bought with my royalties was your welcome to your new home card.
Is that all you got, Va? You maybe need to look at the contract, Gamble.
Jesus, I need to redo my deal. I'm walking.
I had Barry McHugh looked over mine to make sure I get the best deal. So
that's what I call him, the general.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, the fact that you didn't get anything means I got more, and I'm grateful. So,
listen, you needed a roof over your head, so that's all that matters, mate.
I know. The only sad thing is I'm further away from Skywalker now, but I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Not sure. I'll go with bad.
Yeah, that's it. I had to upgrade my telescope so I could look further.
Does he not know about the webcams we drilled into his house?
I know.
He does. I
think that's actually how I unplugged. And there's that music on in the background. Pure. I don't like that song. It's just for you guys.
It was weird how you had your dinner eaten hot to cold.
Yeah. That's it. No one pouts when they're doing a poo.
No. I wish you'd take them out because really? I've not breathed out for the last fucking 2 weeks. So, I thank.
We'll switch them off for a day if you want.
Yeah, just an hour would be great. Just my diaphragm's in tatters here, man. But yeah, so quite happy.
What about you, John? Any accomplishments in the last 3 months?
I completed my first half marathon.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I almost fainted the second I got over the finish line. Stopped running within 3 paces, then was like, oh no, I don't feel good.
That's good.
You accomplished it in a very reasonable time as well. In fact, probably more than we thought.
Hour 47.
That's
considering I started tapering for the event probably unintentionally about 6 weeks before it.
Tapering?
Stopping training, basically.
There's nothing more demoralising when I did one a couple of years ago for COVID and lost my arse getting down and met Ali Little afterwards, and he looked as if like he just like woke up. He was fine. I was like, how did you get on? He's like, oh, not too bad. Got to about 10 miles, and this good song came on, and I just trotted over. It was like an hour and 27 minutes. I was like, what? I was like, that was like fucking world record pace or something. And maybe it was an hour 37. I don't know. Something was fucking fast anyway.
It's fast.
Like, he's tiny. He's like 5'5". I was like, how the fuck can you run that fast?
Light.
He's what?
It's taller than me, yeah.
Well, that's it. You're 5'3.5", I think. This was the letters on.
How tall are you? The size of a cat. No, I think he's about 5'11", and I'm a little bit shorter than that. So.
Oh, I actually thought you were serious there for a second.
Yeah, I am. And what about you, Ali? Have you been any fun travels?
Oh yeah, so don't go to France because you get fucking fat. So yeah, waited for about 2.5 years to go to Monaco and ate chocolate croissants and drank wine and put on about a stone and a half. So yeah, it was well worth the money.
That does sound worth the money.
I got to watch cars. Went to Monaco on a private yacht.
Royalties for the podcast.
That's that's what I'm saying. Me and Lewis Hamilton, we had a wee champagne dinner together. We're all good. We're good. We're tight now. I gave him some tips on like kind of porpoising and stuff like that. So he came third in the next race. So you're welcome, Lewis. Call me.
Even though that bit's fictional, the rest of it, it all pales in comparison to me. The fact it was a weekend without kids.
Well, that's true.
So who cares about the rest of it? You got a weekend of free of kids.
5 days without kids.
5 days.
Fucking amazing.
Did you remember their names by the time you got?
Yeah, well, you need to have a word with your agent, by the way, because off the back of the podcast, I bought a house and Ali went on a fucking entourage trip to Monaco. And what did you do? Just ran. Tired yourself out, and got a medal. Well done.
I would say a participation medal.
It is as well. Everyone gets one.
Well worth it.
Right.
I hear that, mate. So, good work. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. So when we were researching onto tonight's episode, when we were researching our guest,
yes,
the name Troy came up, which sent our good friend Mr. Skywalker off on a wild tangent.
I know where we're going with this.
Ali, Brad Pitt and Troy, discuss.
He is my favourite. That is my favourite Brad Pitt film ever, for no other reason than just Brad Pitt. I don't even think I listened to any words. I just put it on mute.
See, I'm going to back you up on that because you talk about your man crush and your woman crush. It all pales into Brad Pitt is the top of that pyramid. With Brad Pitt and Troy with the flowing locks and the muscles and the armor and the wee hat and the blue. Anyway,
do we need to pause and just give you guys a couple of minutes?
Is that who we've got coming on? I've already done my hair.
I love that film. It must be old now. It must be like
must be about 20 years old. 15 years old, 20 years old.
At least like 2000.
Timeless.
At least, yeah. But,
imagine we had a thing that we could use to search these sorts of answers.
Yeah, probably. But no, that was it. But see, like Eric Bana, that's the thing. It's like
I forgot he was in Eric Bana.
Orlando Bloom as well.
Orlando Bloom's in it as well. Like, see, like those are two brilliant actors, good-looking men in their own right. You almost forget they're even in the film. Does Brad Pitt not kill him? Oh no, he tries to kill Orlando Bloom.
No, he kills Eric Bana.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, people can call into Zoom or Teams meetings, and you can just see them. And they've blurred out the background. That's how I think Skywalker saw that film with Brad Pitt. It was just Brad Pitt and then a blurred out background around them.
Why wouldn't it be? See, when they were making that film, they could have saved themselves so much money if they just got their phone and just recorded him just talking, just standing in the outfit, just doing all this, all of these things. You're lions, take it in your blood. Yeah, budget cost £25, box office 20 million. Oh man.
You could have done it. You could have done it for them. iPhone and a sock.
What's the song
Barry
for?
Gold in a
This didn't take long, did it?
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Right, back
Certainly
up.
not missed this.
It's a family show. It's a family
I knew we'd
show.
get back into the swing of things soon enough.
So, yeah, other than that, there's probably one thing we do want to bring up, which is quite important.
Go.
Gamble, seeing that you're the one that's going to be creating the Just Giving, do you want to give us a breakdown of what's happening and why?
I can, yes. In the intervening time since our last episode, unfortunately, one of our very close mates has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and is currently halfway through his chemotherapy treatment. So yeah, boo, exactly. Fuck you, cancer. He did get good news the other day, though, that his scans at the halfway stage show that the treatment is working and doing what it's meant to do, so that's good. But obviously one of the side effects that our mate is going through, and a lot of people that go through the same treatment, they experience hair loss. So on Saturday the 16th of July, 9 of us are going to show what show of solidarity we can do. We can't do much, but we decided we're going to do this anyway, and we are all going to shave our lids as a bit of a show of solidarity. And so there will be a Just Giving page. Hopefully we can raise a few quid for it. Either way, the gesture and the effort will be worth it. But if we can raise a few quid as we go, then all the better for it. We'll post the link to it on all our social media pages. So if people can chuck in anything from a penny to a pound to a tenner to 20 quid to your recent inheritance, whatever you want to chuck in, we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great cause. And he's a top bloke, you know.
Exactly.
He's a rough ride of it, man, and he's taking it on the chin like an absolute champ as well, like just battling through. So if there's anything, even it's not really going to make much of a difference practically to him, but it's something we don't know what else we can do other than kick fuck it at cancer, which we can't do. So, but I think what we'll do is we'll actually
one for all.
We'll live that as well. So we'll make sure that we've got that on the socials as well, so you can see us losing these sweet locks.
Thank God I actually cut my hair just recently as well. Like I would have been gutted.
I need a haircut. I was saying this to Alison the other last night. I was like, I really need a haircut. She's like, you're not fucking spending £25 on a haircut when you're about to get shaved off in 2 weeks.
£25?
That's where your money's going, eh? So we buy other stuff and you're buying £25 here and Tony guys.
It's what it costs in Edinburgh.
Is that a shampoo as well?
No.
I'd expect a bloody ball tickled at the back of that as well for 25 quid.
The place I used to go in town was like 35 quid. You got a hair wash, you get a wee head scalp massage, you got a beer with your haircut.
What's going on here? I pay like 12 quid and the guy's the roughest guy in the world, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't give me a head rouse, slaps me about a bit. Like,
you'd pay more for that.
That's where the extra money comes in.
That's where the 2 quid comes in. There's a tenner, but he pays
a filthy animal.
Just slap me a little bit.
Pull my ear a little bit.
Plenty. Absolutely plenty.
Okay, anyway, yeah.
So, I suppose without further ado, people have probably had enough listening to our shite after 3 months. They've thought that's fucking enough. Someone else that can break this up. So I suppose what we should do is get our next guest on. So Gail, who is it? Who have we got?
We have got a Scottish professional boxer, Mr. Kieran Smith.
Nice. Chopper Smith. Nice. Right.
Let's get to hear about what that nickname is.
Let's get him and find out what's going on.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So here we are. We're joined by our tonight's guest, Scottish super welterweight, if I've got that right. Southpaw, 17-1 professional record, Mr. Kieran Smith. Welcome to the podcast, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
Welcome.
Did he get all that right?
Aye.
I did. I've moved up to middleweight now because I can't make super welter anymore, but everything was right, aye.
That's okay, it's accurate, right? Cool. Well, still trying to find our feet again, man. Trying to make sure we get it right.
So how's it going? How's your summer been? Or start of the summer anyway?
It's gone good. It's as good as Scottish summer gets, in it. Let's face it. But no, it's been good. I've just been training and working away. Waiting on the next fight date. I think it's going to be September. So, good.
Okay. Not too far away then.
No,
must be completely different when you get nice weather. We have barbecue and beers. You probably have barbecue and press ups.
Well, that's kind of how it goes. Sometimes the day have barbecue and beers, but the day after's usually followed by barbecue and press ups.
Just like after a stag do.
That's it. Exactly.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good.
So, well, let's kind of jump into sort of your questions. So your boxing, tell us how you kind of got into it. Where did the journey start for you?
I actually started, I was on holiday, and I think I was about 11 or something like that. I was on holiday with Mum and Dad, and it was actually Ricky Hatton fighting Costa Zoo. And my dad's always watched boxing, so we were sitting after dinner in a pub, and I just sat and I watched it with my dad, and like from there on I was hooked. I was like, I want to box. And it's crazy because if you look at my style, I fight nothing like Ricky Hatton. Absolutely nothing. I'm the polar opposite of him. I'm 6'2" at middleweight now. I've got big long arms. But for that moment on, I was hooked. And I come home, I asked to go to the boxing club. My mum wouldn't let me to start with. I ended up kickboxing to start with, and I wasn't interested, and it was too much tippy-tappy, kind of semi-contact, and it was like a kids' class, really. And I was like, nah, I want to go to the boxing club. So eventually they gave in and let me go to the boxing club, and I've never looked back.
That's class. So I take it your dad was helping you convince your mum that it was a goer?
To be honest, I think my dad liked watching it, but I didn't think that he wanted me in it, really. But after I knew that I'd committed to it myself, he done nothing but help me then. He drove me all over the country. I was at every other club sparring. I was everywhere training. He spent all my teenage years just driving me about. After his work at night, just spent every night of his week really in a different gym.
Jeez, son. Can he throw a punch then? He must have picked up a few things.
Aye, he's picked up a few. I think he could throw a few, but I think he'd be gassed after a few.
I think that would be mine as well. It's the same as went to Vegas and we were like shooting guns once, and it was quite cool shooting the guns, but it was the thought of the guns shooting back at me which put me off. And it's the same thing with boxing. I wouldn't mind punching someone, but as if they got up and punched me back, that was when the problem started. I do a lot of personal training now, so I'm holding a lot of pads and stuff like that for people, and just like yourself, just general people they're no boxers, and they always say to me, they're like, "Oh, I can't believe you fight like 3-minute rounds. This is so hard," and that. And I'm like, "You think this is hard? Wait till somebody's punching you back and fight at the same time as doing that." Because I think it's the ribs as well. Like getting punched in the face, obviously it's not great, but you see like guys get hit in the ribs and they just go down. What's that guy that Ryan Garcia? To follow him on Instagram, and he just like stands there and just hits people with the actual body.
Oh yeah.
And people are like breaking ribs and stuff like that. And I was like, why didn't he do that in real life, like without that pad thing? So no.
I think those for me, those fighting days are long gone, man. That was usually a 3 o'clock outside the shed. That was my kind of fighting territory, man. Just one big haymaker and then I'd run. Like that was it.
That was you probably fighting a doner kebab.
Fighting the guy in Danny Singh. Like, no, that's good. So listen, so we were looking through, and obviously you were at the Commonwealth Games 2014, right? So I was kind of going through some of the stuff on how you qualified as well. So you came up at, it was Aston Brown you fought before.
Yeah, aye.
And there was a wee bit of friction between you two.
Oh, it was massive.
So what was it like? So see, to beat a guy that, you know, if there's obviously a wee bit of tension, to actually beat him to get into the Commonwealth, it must have been quite a big moment for you.
So there was massive needle. Aston Brown was in Team GB at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like he was always favoured above me. For like Scotland teams and stuff like that, and we fought each other in the final of the Scottish the year before that, and he beat me, and I thought I won. A load of people thought I won, and the friction kind of started for there. But then the Commonwealth Games qualifying, how they wanted us to work it was, I got to go to 3 tournaments, he got to go to 3 tournaments, and there was separate points and stuff like that for A grade tournaments, this, that, the next thing. And I went to 3 tournaments, I won 3 gold medals. It was actually 4 tournaments each, I think, because I never went to the 4th tournament. I had a sickness bug. Aston Brown went to World Championships, European, stuff like that, and he won a few fights, but he never got to any medal stages. Had he got to a medal stage, though, in any of the Europeans or the Worlds, his points would have actually been higher than me winning 3 gold medals. But anyway, I was winning on the point system, and then they told us basically that the point system didn't matter anymore. That they wanted that it was going to be the winner of who won the Scottish in the start of 2014 would take place for the Commonwealth Games. So then I fought him again that year and I beat him. And we already had that was like a year ongoing, he just back and forward and stuff like that on Twitter, and then I beat him, and then all the way up to the Commonwealth Games. I'd never ever spoke to him. And since then I had never spoke to him till 3 months ago. I think it's 3 months ago. And I just passed him at a boxing event, and he said all right to me, and I just kind of couldn't believe it. I was like, "Aye, I'm all right. You all right?" And then I actually just got talking to him. I just shook his hand and that, and he's like, "Look, everything's in the past." And then that was a Saturday, and then come the Tuesday, we were helping each other, we were sparring with each other.
Oh, really? Jeez.
Madness.
All that time ago.
He messaged me on I think it was Saturday night or the Sunday, and he's like, "Look, see if you ever need any sparring, need a hand out." He's like, I'm coming back just now as well." I was like, "Look, you'd be perfect for me," because as I was growing up, I always looked at Aston was always older than me. Aston's, Josh Taylor's and stuff like that, they were all on the same team. So as a younger boy, I used to look up and be like that's where I'm going to be in a couple of years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's a quality boxer. He is.
Well, that's good. So I mean, it sounds as though they were trying to kind of fix it so that he was going to get to the Commonwealth team. If they're saying about the point,
a little bit.
There's kind of he's the favoured one, so it must have been quite fulfilling to end up giving him a tanking and taking his place.
Definitely. I've always had a thing, and it's went right through my boxing career. My face is never fitted, and my dad just kept telling me, "You just need to make your face fit. If it doesn't fit, just make it fit." So that's where the hard work mentality comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that is for a boxer, you need to be fully committed. You have to be doing the training. You have to be doing your sparring. You have to be doing your cardio stuff as well. How do you adapt into that lifestyle? You're saying probably mates, you're a young lad. Mates going out and stuff like that. What is the mindset? How do you keep on going? What's the drive?
I think it's when I was younger, I used to swim, and I stopped enjoying swimming, and I was made go for a couple of years, and I got to the point where I absolutely hated it, and I've always kind of had the same thing in my head, like at the point that I'm not enjoying it, I won't do it anymore, because there's never been, like I said, my mum and dad didn't want me to box to start with, so it was me. I was the one pushing it. Like every night I wanted to train. I was always wanting to train because it was off my own back, I think. And I've kind of had, just because of the setbacks I've had, I'm just a gritty cunt. Really, honestly, there's no other way.
Yeah.
So that's a soundbite right there. I like that.
There's no other way of putting it. I don't know how to put it, but it's like you tell me I can't have something, I want it. You know what I mean? And I've just I got beat off Troy Williamson last year, and I came out the ring and I said, I had an amazing camp, I had an amazing weight cut, I done everything right, I was as fit as anything. I had no excuses. He was a better man than me in the night. He hit me with a punch, and that was it. And I think it's a massive thing for me to be able to do that, where a lot of boxers can't do that. They can't walk out the ring and go, I was beat by the better man, because they always want to give themselves an excuse.
Yeah.
But see if I just done this and see if I done that right. I done everything right. I left myself no excuses.
See, in fairness, I watched that fight, and it was the 6th round, wasn't it?
Aye.
6th round. I thought you were winning. I thought you had, even in the early in the 6th round and late in the 5th, you had him wobbled a few times. Like, I thought that was it, because that was the eliminator to fight. What's his name? Cheeseman, that guy.
Yeah.
Him.
Aye.
And I thought you had it as well. And like, even then, I still thought like the referee kind of nudged you down as well.
I was gone. I'll be honest, I was gone. But we had a game plan. We had a game plan, and the game plan was to box for the first 8 and then pull the pin, because we know like we know I've got a massive gas tank, and I knew for 8 to 12 that I could apply loads of pressure and possibly get him out. And after the fight, I was hurting him a bit more than I expected, to be honest, early doors.
Yeah.
And my coach Pez said to me, he said, I wish I told you to pull the pin earlier. And I was like, there's no point talking about it now.
It's done.
It's done. We had a game plan and we stuck to it, and it just never happened.
Yeah. See, just on that. Yeah, so I was just going to say, like, see, obviously before that, at that point, you were what, 16-0 when you fought him?
Yeah.
So it must have been a really different experience for you to come out of the fight not having won. So how did you respond to that?
I got him ran 10 mile the next morning.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I'd have been sitting in bed with a tub of Ben and Jerry's crying into it.
Jesus. I know.
That's the difference, though.
Exactly.
How many guys do you see training when they win?
I know. That's it. They always go on the piss and stuff like that. So all these guys, they take like a month off and start drinking. And
who's that guy? That UFC guy?
Paddy the Baddie.
Paddy the Baddie.
Yeah.
Just bloats away up and then has a heavy cut for camp. That can't
was Hatton not? Was he not quite famous for doing that as well?
Yeah.
Hatton would just like go on the curries after he'd have a fight and just go nuts for a wee while.
He was in the pub every day. But like if you look at Ricky Hatton now, like out with fighting, look, personal health, look at his skin now and everything, and he's never done with having ulcers.
Yeah,
like his face has always got scabs in it. It's like, and it's just the same. They're shortening their careers massively.
Yeah.
He's talking about a comeback or something, is he not? Wasn't it something in news he wanted to fight
I've
again?
seen it. He's lost a pound of weight again. He was supposed to fight in July or something like that. I'm not really.
What?
I'm not sure what it was. I think he just wants to fight on the same bill as his son or something like that.
Right. Okay. Right. I didn't know that. But there's a lot of these like boxers that are old. Obviously, Mayweather has set what's the right word? Like, kind of got the game plan or the business plan on how to do it. Whereas not fighting for any belts. It's not affecting his 50-0 and stuff like that. But he's making 100 million a go. So like he's dancing with these like YouTube boxers, and I think he goes over to Japan every now and again as well. He just walks away with these huge checks. So I think they're all looking at it going, well, if he can do it, like Mike Tyson fought again.
Who did he fight? He fought.
How you remind who it was?
Can't remember.
Who was it?
Was that on an exhibition match or something like that?
Yeah, this is it. I think it was like 6 rounds or 5 rounds or something like that. And I think they got like 10 million each or something like that. But these kind of older boxers are kind of, because it's hard as boxing. It's that you have it's a short career, and as I said, as long as you're doing well. But after boxing, there's probably there's not a lot of, let's say, obviously going to training, but it's Floyd Mayweather going in there and still making more money than anybody. It's crazy. I think he's top of the Forbes list for like 2 years in a row, because he fought McGregor, and then I think it was the YouTube guy or something that he fought as well, and got like another.
That Japanese guy.
Yeah,
I don't think he's far off a billionaire now.
That's mad. So. So there you go. There's potential for you there, mate.
I know. Just sack it off, retire early, then come back.
Apparently that's where all the money is, eh?
Or just go wind up Mayweather. Just like start calling him names. Start winding him up on Facebook or something, or Insta. sorted. But where were we? I forgot where we were.
You just took that off at a tangent,
I know,
didn't you?
so thinking about Mayweather fighting and stuff like that. But so kind of with Troy Williams, do you feel there's unfinished business there? Would you try and set up another fight with him?
Nah, because I've moved up. He's still at super welter. I know that it couldn't happen anyway because he's progressed so much further on the super welterweight rankings since then by winning the title, defending it. He's now probably looking to win the title outright, if not going to European level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't get that shot. I wouldn't get that shot again. No, I wouldn't have put myself back down to super welterweight to make the weight. I was cutting muscle mass every single time I done it just to get to super welterweight. So
that's perfect. So what will be next for you then? Because obviously there was I wasn't sure what actually happened because you were supposed to be fighting in the Hydro. What was it, May?
That was May, aye.
Aye, with the Hannah ranking card. So
Yep.
what was that, a sanctioning issue or something that happened?
No, it wasn't. What it actually was I done my brain scan in April, and it goes to a company called InHealth, and then they do the report on the brain scan, and then they send it to the board, and then the board have to sign it off, the report off. So this hadn't been done by InHealth after like what they've had it for 5 weeks or something like that. And then I was told at the start of the week, fight week, off the board, we've not got your brain scan. I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I done my brain scan 5 weeks ago. So I chased back and forth by InHealth. InHealth said, look, it's not, our neurologist hasn't done the report on it. So the report will be done by Wednesday. We spoke to the board and they said it's fine if I have it by Wednesday. I was like, right, no problem. So after that, going off that, I couldn't get a hold of InHealth on the Wednesday. I got a hold of my manager, and my manager says, yeah, the board's got your scan. I think everything's all right. Little did I know at the time that there's been basically a slight change in my scan for the year. And the head of British Boxing, Robert Smith, had said to Sam, there's a slight change, but we'll get the doctor to sign it off. It'll be fine. So Sam phones him Thursday and says, is everything good to go? Like, is it signed off? It's not signed off yet, but weigh-in is normal. It'll be signed off by tomorrow morning anyway for the British Boxing Board doctor.
Yeah.
Friday morning after I'd weighed in, done everything, fight day, Robert Smith phones Sam and says, the doctor's not going to sign it off without a second opinion of a neurologist. And so I was like, there was no way I could fight.
Sure.
And I've not got an appointment until the 19th of July when neurologist was the first one at Russell.
Jeez, oh man.
10 weeks or something like that. It was 10 weeks I phoned.
That's ridiculous, especially given the fact that like you're on the day of the fight. Like, so you've done all this camp, you know.
So it really, it's, if anything, it's InHealth's fault, because had InHealth done their job properly, that could have then got back to me long before fight week, and I could have possibly seen a neurologist. And the thing is, they're pulling loads and loads of people up at the moment about scans, loads. Somebody told me they used to average 4 a month. They're now averaging 5 a week for second opinions and stuff like that.
Really? Wow.
Has there been a change in regulations, or is that just something that they're taking off their own back?
I'm not sure what it is. I think that there must be a change in the scanning system. There's got to be something.
I suppose a lot of things are looking at concussion protocols, and you see that in football now and rugby and all sports that they're looking at concussion stuff as well. So maybe it is that they feel that they're under pressure to kind of pick up things earlier or something like that.
I think so. I think it is, yeah. But also, I think they're taking scans from year to year, and they're any minor adjustments or whatever, any slight changes in your brain, they're picking up on it and asking for second opinions and stuff like that. Whereas every single person here's brain will change.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just that you don't get it scanned every year. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think they're just erring on the side of caution all the time now because of the amount of people that have ended up in comas and stuff like that, people dead and stuff like that, just through boxing and stuff at the moment.
Also, there's a lot more public focus on that in all sports, like Ali was saying. Like you've seen in the NFL, there's been a massive lawsuit that they've had to pay out to former players because of concussion issues and all that sort of stuff. So a lot more sports seem to be, like you're saying, erring on the side of caution, just, I guess,
definitely.
Partly to save themselves a little bit and for the public perception of the sport as well.
Yeah.
I don't. My thing with my scan is I don't understand. Like in health, I've got a neurologist and they've reported it, and then the doctor at the British Boxing Board of Control must be a neurologist to sign it off. So then he's asked for a second opinion of another neurologist.
So that's already two.
So
that I don't know if the neurologists are on the payroll or what, because like that's like phoning an electrician and saying, "Can you do this job?" They come out and have a look at it. Says, "I can do this job, but go and phone another electrician to see if he can do it. Then I'll tell you if I can do it." You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense.
And then that electrician comes around and be like, "I'll just quickly phone another one, just double check if he can do it as well."
Exactly.
Then we'll be all right.
But see, the thing is, like, obviously, it's good that there's regulations because they're looking after fighter safety and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They need to have a system that works. This is people's livelihood. You know, like that missing out in the fight and stuff like that. You know, that's a massive issue. They should, you know, if they've got that sent in 5 weeks, they must have. They need to get their protocols better so that, you know, if something is going to get flagged up, it's flagged up early so that you can make arrangements and, you know, kind of have contingency.
Definitely.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
For it to be happening after the weigh-in's done, for them to be like, "Oh, by the way, we've just checked this," it's pretty ridiculous, isn't it?
Definitely. I was honestly, I didn't know. I got phoned. I do the same every day. Every morning I wake up, fight day, I got to walk myself for a couple of hours, and I was like 9:30 in the morning. I was just along the road from my house, and I got the phone call. I just about turned. I walked back home, and I sat on the couch for like 2 hours. I was just like, I didn't even speak to him. They didn't do nothing. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know how to go about even try to tell people or like what to even do, and I was just absolutely just flattened.
Because no one's going to hold you responsible, but at the same time, you feel as though you're letting, you know, like people that have bought tickets, not
massively.
Like it's ridiculous, man.
But that's the thing, it's playing on your mind all week as well. Like the fight week, I assume that you probably want to just be focused on your job at hand, and it's like you don't want to be making phone calls every day to find out about a head scan, and then they're saying, "Oh, we need to get it checked out." Then you're like, "Oh, why are they checking it?" You know, all that kind of stuff will be playing in your mind. It says the last thing you want to be thinking about is there something wrong? Do I need to go get another check? You know, it must be playing really on your mind all week.
Definitely. Pressure you don't need, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
you said you can't get the scan till July, did you say?
It's not even another scan, it's just an opinion.
It's opinion, right.
So guy could just probably take 5 minutes and look at it and go, "Oh, you're fine."
Aye, exactly. Exactly.
Well, hopefully that'll be all good, and then you're good for
£250 off me for it though.
I think we're getting to the reason why this is happening.
You'll probably find there'll be about 40 boxers in his waiting room, just 250.
Exactly.
He walks in with his pure grills in and fucking ridiculous. So what does that mean then? So for September, you're hoping for your next scrap?
Yeah. I've been told I'll fight again in September. Obviously moved up to middleweight now. I'm hopefully trying to get myself in for a title in September. They're talking about me fighting for the Commonwealth title, which is it was supposed to be a Commonwealth title final eliminator, and an opponent pulled out in May. So we got another opponent who's a French lad, a big, massive, tall guy. And then they told us that you'll fight for a Commonwealth title, either the Commonwealth title or a final eliminator in your next fight, which would be September. Which is, if I fight, I'll be over the moon if I get to fight for the Commonwealth title. It's just a belt I've always wanted.
Brilliant. Where would that be? Would that be in Glasgow?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like we day out, guys.
I know it definitely does.
Could be.
Oh yeah. Do you when you look at obviously the COVID stuff when you've been fighting? I assume that fighting in front of a crowd and then fighting with the COVID stuff with no crowd. Like, what's it like in a boxing match with no crowd? Is it just like almost like a vicious sparring session, or
No,
are you just that focused on?
I'm a pretty dialed in and focused person. So with a crowd, the biggest part of a crowd is probably walking out there. You know what I mean? Your ring walk. See, when I'm in the ring, it could be empty. It could be the Queen sitting ringside. I'll not notice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I listen to one person only, really, and it's my corner man ped. That's kind of it for the moment. The bell goes until the end of the fight. And I'm used to fighting in empty halls. Like, I had 120 amateur fights.
What?
So
My God.
like, I travelled the world in empty halls. Like, you go to all these tournaments in Serbia and all over the world, and there's no crowd.
Yeah.
It's just amateur boxing's full of empty halls. You know what I mean? In all these foreign countries. So I'm more than used to it. And same goes for Troy Wilson. That's because that's the only person I fought without a crowd. I knew that it would be no different for him as well as me, because he's in the same boat. He fought for England. He's done all the same things I've done. But it makes a difference when the crowd's there after the fight. You know what I mean? The ring walking after the fight. I think if you're a person that gets hyped up by the crowd, then definitely aye. And the crowd can pull some people through when they're done in and knackered and stuff like that. But I wouldn't really say that I'm one of those kind of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the crowd can work against you as well, I guess. You know, if it can maybe get you overhyped, you know, that way.
Yeah.
When you maybe like focus, game plan, and all the rest of it can maybe start shifting because you're taking all that in. So maybe you do need to be that kind of whatever's outside the ring doesn't really matter.
Yep, definitely. I fell into the trap at the Commonwealth Games.
Is that the Fowler thing?
Yep, I walked out to fly to Scotland. I had a game plan, everything before the fight. I walked out, and as soon as I seen the crowd and everybody singing, I just threw everything out the window.
Yeah.
Everything went out the window, and I just went in for a fight. I just went in to stand and fight toe to toe, and Anthony Fowler's better than me at standing fighting toe to toe. And by the time that I started boxing, it was too late to change it on points.
Aye. In fairness, he is pretty good as well, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it.
He's all right for himself, man.
Decent boxer.
Right.
So, kind of moving on a bit with so we spoke about like Mayweather and stuff like that. You see that there's a lot of these YouTube boxers, and like say there was a KSI is one of them, the Logan Paul and things like that. Have you got any opinion, or what do you think it is for the sport of boxing for these guys coming in? And they seem to be taking it relatively seriously to a certain degree, but when you look at probably how you're training, going through the transition, say going to Serbia, doing amateur fights, and then these guys are jumping in the ring, getting a few million because they're on YouTube. Of
course, it's annoying like anything else, but I've been asked about this loads of times, and all I say is good luck to them, man, because it's the reason it is a business, and they're doing fucking really well at it.
Yeah, it's if you go and dance, who's it that was it Tyson thing that he was the YouTube, he was a UFC guy, and he got absolutely sparkled. Tyron Woodley, that's it. Sorry, Tyron Woodley got absolutely sparkled, but he said he got like 10 million for it or something like that. You know.
What's his name? Ben Askren.
Yeah.
He got his arse spanked in it as well, and he gets a good payday, and then he just walks away from it.
I think Ocho Cinco was the American football player. There was like two American football players fighting each other on the undercard. Oh, yeah. Ocho Cinco was fighting. I can't remember who the other one.
That's hilarious.
One of it was like a wide receiver thing that he was fighting. But I would think two retired NFL players were fighting on the undercard. So I don't know.
That's the secret, right? What you need to do is find one of these idiots on Love Island and just be right. Square
I
go.
know. That's where the money's at these days.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Crazy.
Well, you just go on Love Island, barter someone on that, and then because yeah.
I think that leads to you losing money, mate. Getting sued.
I don't think the missus will be happy about me going.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's probably not. Right.
I might forget about the job in hand. You know what I mean?
You get that doing when you come out, mate. So I suppose just last kind of question I had for you was the nickname Chopper, right? Obviously in Glasgow, there's a few different meanings.
Everybody asks.
I didn't ask you. So where did it come from, and what's the script?
Oh, it's all about the package, mate, isn't it?
Well, at least that's honest anyway.
Nah, that's what.
That's an easy answer.
That's what you wanted to hear, and here's the boring truth. Here is the boring truth. When I was younger, I played football. Was never great at football, but all my mates played football. Like, it was an excuse to run about, train. I just seen Kenny everything. It was training.
Yeah.
Pretty much how I do now as well, to be honest. If you can walk to the shop, I can walk to the shop faster. So,
I know someone else like that as well. Martin races people that he doesn't know he's racing, or they don't know they're racing him.
Aye. So I played football, and I played in a team with my mates, and I just shoot like I was a big left back, left footed and all, and I just used to half everybody. Like I was just smashing people. I would have probably been a bit better at rugby or something like that. I was just smashing people all the time, and then everybody just started calling me Chopper. It was actually one of my mates, Andrew Cunningham, that started it, and then it went on for ages at football. Like people call me Chopper, and then, funnily enough, our team got chucked out of the league for fighting. So that was it. That was the end of my football career at 14. Got put out of the league, so I had nowhere to go. All the other guys went to other teams and stuff like that.
Aye.
I just focused on boxing, so I hadn't heard like the name Chopper for years. It just kind of died out and faded away. And then I was turning pro, and I had a big, massive group chat. And I said, "Look, I need a nickname for the front of my shorts for my first professional fight." And just everybody jumped the bandwagon. Chopper is good to be Chopper. Chopper is, and it's just stuck for it's stuck to there. That's been it.
That's not that boring, to be honest.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good story.
I mean, it's not maybe glamorous. It's just the package.
Are the missus walking around with a big smile on her face?
Oh God!
Brilliant.
Ali, anything else from you, mate?
Yeah. Well, so we're actually chatting about this last week. It says the Mount Rushmore of boxing. Who is your sort of four greatest boxers? Who would you put on a mountain? Whose heads would you put up there?
Number one would be Joe Calzaghe.
Yeah.
I've been all over the world boxing. I've been in that company, loads of boxers. And man, I shared Kell Brooke's fella with him and stuff like that when I sparred them. And I've never asked a boxer for an autograph in my life, but I've always said I would get Joe Calzaghe's autograph.
Uh-huh.
That's one. Probably up there on the pedestal would be Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather, Joe Calzaghe.
Uh-huh.
Number four.
Yeah.
There's a few, you know what I mean? I would like to say Bernard Hopkins, just because of how successful he was from a late age, you know what I mean? Like,
aye.
And he was actually pretty much a scientist of the game. He was, and I love that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? His technical ability and stuff like that, to do stupid stuff was unbelievable.
Oh, that's class. It's actually good that we managed to get you to narrow it down to 4, because we asked Enzo Macarinelli the same question and he was raging because he's like, "There's no way you can do 4. There's no way." He's going nuts. It's all right, man.
Because he loved all the Mexican boxers. That was I think it was 4 Mexican guys. I think it was 3 of them I've never heard of.
Pereira and all that, yeah.
It's easy.
I'm opposite anyway. I like I like slick boxers. You know what I mean?
I was listening to Talk Radio recently. I think someone was interviewing one of the boxers. I think it was Eddie Hearn that was getting interviewed. They were talking about boxers and who's the greatest boxer. And they said Joe Kawasaki would have been one of the best British boxers ever to come out of British boxing. So I think that he is probably up there with one of the best.
Oh, definitely. He's never ever had the credit he ever deserved.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah, he was classy.
Was it he scalped again? That boy, he scalped him like twice or 3 times because he said it was, what was his name again? The last fight, and he said it was like went contentious or something. Then he fought him again and absolutely sparkled him in the second fight. What was his name again? He was a southpaw as well, I'm sure. That's going to bug me. As soon as we come off, I'll remember.
You have a wee think.
I will. I'll come back to me. In fact,
we're gonna give you a wee break from the questions for now, Kieran, and we've got a wee thing we do called Heroes and Zeros. So each of us pick our hero of the week, and then you get to pick the best of the heroes, and then we each pick our zero of the week, and you get to pick the best of the zeros. And it does get a little bit competitive between us. We've all got that little competitive streak in us. But what do you want to hear first? Do you want to hear the heroes or the zeros?
I guess the heroes first.
Heroes first. Ali, you start us in.
Still trying to Google that box.
Oh, by the way, just to be clear, we have to try and not be too political because we're getting into a really dark place with serious like villains and heroes and all that, kind of like genocide and all that. So we've had to lighten up a little bit. So the more obvious contenders, but we're trying to be a bit smart about it.
Well, I've not gone that way, so you've just told us we'll be up the river there.
So don't pick him, basically.
Basically, don't get political. So, but my one is
Russia.
The president of Ukraine. So Vladimir Zelensky, president of Ukraine. I do follow a bit of politics, and British politics gets on my nerves big time. Boris Johnson, I could talk for days, weeks, months, years about him. But what I admire most is Zelensky. He is totally with the people. He's leading the right way and standing up for a big, massive bully in the country, and you see how the people are all right behind him. I'm sure he's got his critics and everything out there, but you know he's standing firm, and I think the amount of pressure that he's on, he handles himself so well. Someone that was an actor 5 years ago, he was I think a comedic actor as well, and he played the part about someone that became president, and he decided that he was going to change Ukraine, go and make for the better. Or change Ukraine for the better, and now he's obviously got one of the hardest jobs ever in probably the last 50 years. So I think he's my hero just because of the way that he's handled himself. Someone that 5 years ago was an actor. So yeah, he wins for me. There's my statement for the day.
Right, Minnie.
How do you follow that up, man? How do you follow up a guy that's literally leading this country against an invasion, man?
Let's hear. Let's hear how you do it.
What I've done is try to keep to the fucking programme of, the small heroes, not the guy that's a fucking president. I've went to a guy called Stephen Douglas, right? Big famous Stephen Douglas, off-duty firefighter in Brooklyn. And as he was kicking about, came across, there was a big house on fire in Brooklyn. He ran out and to see if he could help, and he had his breathing gear in the back seat.
Stop. I hope he didn't save somebody's cat or something.
No. See, now you're going to feel bad because someone's baby was inside.
The cat died.
Someone's baby was still inside, and the mum was like smoking, and she was on the ground. So he got his breathing apparatus on, ran in, and he saved the baby. But the thing for me is he was kicking about in a vest and a pair of Crocs when he done it, and he managed to save this baby's life.
a vest, a pair of Crocs, and just happened to have his breathing apparatus in his
Well,
back
because it was
pocket.
in the back of the car.
Oh, right, okay.
So he just grabbed that, and then he had
Right.
shorts on as well. He wasn't like bottomless.
Just,
Needed to clarify that.
where his pudgy smugglers are. I'll get him.
So yeah, so if I was to describe a hero, it'd be someone that saves a baby from a burning building. This guy done that in Crocs. He's my hero. There you go. What were you?
like
Kieran?
Well, I went really light-hearted with mine. Actually, I really stuck to the idea of it. It's more of a story that I just liked as opposed to maybe a heroic effort. But Billy Foster was the caddy for last week's US Open champion. And he's been caddying for 40 years. He's caddied for the likes of Seve Ballesteros, Darren Clark, Thomas Bjorn, Sergio Garcia. And in that 40 years of like caddying for some of the world's best, he's never been the caddy at the time one of them has won a major championship. Sure. So after 40 years, the guy finally got his dues and won that Open championship with his golfer. And it just looked amazing for the guy just to finally get that moment after all those years of hard work with all those world-class guys to finally hit that peak. I just thought it was a class story, really.
Yeah, it is.
He might not be in a heroic effort. He's not leading a country in war or saving a baby. So, I mean, I'll probably just take my loss now, but...
Okay, so it's down to
definitely lost.
I went with a nice heartwarming story.
It was a lovely story.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a knockout in the first 30 seconds, I'm afraid.
So, what's the
anyway, right, so who's your choice between the other two then?
So I need to pick a winner.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's usually out of 3, but Gamel's already out the running. He not put in semis, man.
I know. He tripped over in the ring walk and he's out.
I'm actually going to go with the fireman because the one reason is Vladimir will get millions and millions of praise. The fireman will not get millions and millions of praise. Like, if I hadn't heard that story, I would have probably never heard that story in my life.
Yep.
Whereas everybody around the world is going to hear about Vladimir.
Yeah.
Mate, I couldn't agree with you more.
I've got mixed feelings on that opinion.
So, Stefan, just remember the name.
I remain neutral on it all.
What was his name again? So I can...
Stefan, S-T-E-F-O-N, Douglas.
Well done, Steph.
Aye, congratulations.
I bet we need to argue that now to make sure that actually a true story.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Gemmell did a story before that was about 8 years previous as well. It's meant to be a recent guy.
No, I did one that was in the like
I
the
did
1200s or something.
Oh yeah, I did as well.
I did a medieval bad guy.
I don't think I'm the only cheating one here. Everyone's cheating. So.
You did Mother Earth, Ali.
Well, that was okay. Right. We'll go there. Let's not go there.
Anyway, zeros, right? Minnie, you go on.
Winner takes the start, right? Okay.
Aye.
So I know we said no politics.
Jesus Christ.
Political, but he's not like a famous politician, but the guy's a dick anyway. So it's a guy called Lee Anderson who's an MP, and he basically came out about the food bank situation. You know, we've got now 2.1 million meals getting given out of food banks. The actual numbers went up by 80% in the last 5 years because people have got no fucking money and people are really struggling with loads of poverty. And he came out saying that people that use food banks just don't know how to cook and there's not a massive need for them. This is a guy that took 220 grand from his constituency last year, and he's saying that poor people that have to rely on food banks just don't know how to cook. So, prick, zero.
Yeah.
That's it.
Can't disagree with him, you're a prick. I'll go next.
Mm-hmm.
So mine is a story about that American swimmer who basically passed out mid-swim and started to sink to the bottom of the pool, and the lifeguards sat there and did nothing.
Yeah.
They just sat there, watched her sinking, waiting to be told that they could jump in the pool to save her. And in the intervening time, her coach had to jump in. And her coach actually was one that got her out of the pool and started getting her, like, doing the kind of resuscitation and stuff. But those lifeguards, like, you're there to react and save a life and do what you're trained to do, not just sit there and be like, right, I'll wait until my boss tells me I can go and see that person drowning, but nobody's told me to go yet. I saw that was absolutely ridiculous. They would have, like, how long would they have sat there for if that other person hadn't jumped in? So those lifeguards can go in the bin. They're my zero.
Well, Do you know that wasn't the first time that swimmer had done it as well? Apparently, she's
she's now banned from swimming competitions. It's the second time she's done it.
So she keeps going.
Maybe she should be a zero as well.
Yeah,
exactly. But I'll stick with lifeguards.
Who have we got now? We get Vladimir Putin. Is that
All right, so
Ali's kept the light hard.
I've gone completely politics this week. I don't know why I'm fucking
Boris Johnson
trolling. No, so it's actually the American Supreme Court.
I was going to use this, but I thought I'd try and keep things less serious.
Yeah, no, I'll remember for next week. So right, they overturned a 50-year law regarding abortion. So obviously I'm neither pro or against or whatever with abortion. I'm going down that route. But what is pissing me off is that they've got so many more other issues, namely gun violence in America. And for whatever reason, this is to the top of the pile, that they're taking away probably human rights of people that, it's a difference of opinion. But then there's kids getting shot up in a school, and there's so many, almost every week, that there's gun violence, people getting shot. Food markets, there was someone shot recently, another school in Texas. So the American Supreme Court's getting it for just this stupid shit, because apparently it's in the amendment as well, about abortion and things like that. But this gun law thing, they just won't stand. So they're the baddies.
Yeah, fair dues.
Okay, maybe a slightly more competitive choices this time. So who's your zero?
My zero is definitely going to be a lifeguards.
Oh.
Ali went far too deep again. He's gone far too far.
I can't even fucking cheat. My God. That's it. I'm not coming to your next fight now, Kieran. Fuck you. In fact, I'm coming up booing.
There was always. I only had 2 tickets anyway. I knew it was not fun.
I'll stand outside. I'll just be like, boo.
The thing is, I'd rather you didn't win than I won. So I'm delighted. Great shout, Kieran. I totally agree with you. Totally.
Ali, just take it a chin, mate.
Ali, I bet you win all the time because you go so sophisticated with those answers.
No, so that's it.
That's the first time he's ever been called sophisticated.
You go digging to win. You go digging to win the night.
Honestly, I never win. I said the last time I won was about fucking 20 episodes when I found a story about in South Africa about some teacher that had to put his kid.
I was Emma Dodson.
Because the teacher dropped his phone down a poo hole, so he had to lower the kid down. So I actually won then, but that was about fucking 20 episodes the last time I got a point.
That was last May.
Honestly.
Is that not the one that me and Minnie couldn't make it for?
Yeah, probably. I just interviewed her myself. Anyway, no, I'm not upset. That's fine.
I think common sense prevailed. Thanks, Kieran.
Yeah, I think the right decisions were made. Right, so focus back on Kieran, and it's time for our speed round. Nothing too difficult. It's just whatever thought pops into your head first, just say it. And I think, Minnie, you're going to fire away at the questions?
Yep, got them here. So, are you ready, mate?
I think so, aye.
Speed.
Number 1 is, who's your favourite superhero?
Batman.
Who is your man crush?
Joe Kozagi.
It's like nice. Favourite holiday destination?
Turkey.
Okay. What is your biggest fear or phobia?
Bro, I don't know. Spiders. I think I've not really got. No.
Not scared.
Scared
that was a lie.
Who's your woman crush?
Who's my woman crush?
Yeah.
Mila Kunis.
Nice. What was your last fancy dress outfit?
Oh, man,
fancy dress outfit then?
A fancy dress? I can't even think the last time I dressed up. This is the worst speed round I've ever had in my life.
I'll edit this, mate. You'll be looking rapid.
The Joker. The Joker.
The Joker.
Okay. Nice. Who was your favourite WWF wrestler?
Rikishi.
Oh, nice.
The only one I could mind. No, my favourite, but we'll go with it.
Who's the most famous person you've ever met?
Oh, so a load of boxers. Probably Kell Brooke. I can't even think outside the boxing. Probably like Chris Hoy and stuff like that. A lot of sports folk.
Very famous.
Aye, and in fairness, you were staying with Kell Brooke, so that's even better. That's cool. Who would play you in a movie of your life?
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather.
Aye.
I always see like 5'5"
Go
or something.
to back to front.
Okay, and the last question is: if you had a boat, what would you call it?
Betty.
Nice, mate. That's it. 10 out of 10. It was easy.
There we go. It's easy. Lovely stuff.
There you go. 10 out of 10. Rikishi, that's a first we've had, man. That's a
That's a debut.
That's a cracker.
What was Rikishi's finisher?
He just rubbed his arse in his face, didn't he? Just imagine that's your finisher. Like everyone else is like a rock bottom in that, and you just like, I'm just going to stick my arse in your face. Finished.
That's a belter.
So, just last question actually just popped in my head there. Kell Brooke can fight. What did you think of the fight?
I was at. He came up to Glasgow for the Josh Taylor fight the week after, and just kind of off the cuff, he phoned me. He's like, "Look, I'm coming up for the fight. Are you coming?" And I was like, "I've not got tickets." He's like, "I'll phone Ben Shaw the now." He's like, "He'll get you in with me." And Ben Shaw's obviously the promoter that's putting the show in Glasgow, which was the Can Brooke promoter as well. So I went up, and I never see when I stayed with Kell Brooke. It was in the middle of COVID. It was in Fort Ventura. There was nobody about. I never realised the magnitude of how much a star he was. And when I went over there, I know he's fought Golovkin, I know he's been world champion for years, blah blah. But like I've always just seen, I see every other boxer as a normal person, the same as myself. So I treated him the same as myself. And it wasn't until I went to that show in Glasgow that I realised the magnitude of just how hard it is getting to that level. Like he can't even walk in the hotel reception, you know what I mean, without getting hounded. Everywhere he goes, like he had security take him from when he got out this, like we went in this wee 7-seater into the fight. Security surrounded him through the back entrance, right into the ringside. And then the way back out as well, like 5 security guards around him all the way. And it was actually, it was kind of like getting chopped out. That's what it's like. that's generally what it's like. It's like 5 bouncers holding on around the building so that nobody can touch him and near him, and just basically like horsing him out the doors and back in another cab.
I've never heard it described as that.
Crazy. But so I went up to, like I was saying, he asked me to meet him at the hotel, and he told me just to come up to his room because he wouldn't come out the room because he would get seen. So I spoke to him, and he keeps in contact with me quite a lot, to be honest. And I was just saying to him like about the fight and stuff, and he was saying to me, he says, "I want to fight Chris Eubank Jr." You know, he's like, "I don't like him." And I was like, I says, "Look, I says, like you've been building up to Cannes for so long." I was like, and he's like, he says, "I was on the money." He says, "Last week," he says, "I was on the money," and that, he says, "Everything just came perfect." And I was like, there's no better way to end your career than that. I says, like, it's not going to get any better now.
Yeah.
And he actually turned around and said to me, he was like, "I might actually retire, you know, this year. I think I'll retire."
Jeez,
it was a quality fight. You had him on toast, man. You just schooled him.
It's he was a different animal, and I think going back to Dominic Ingle done that for him. I think the time away for Dominic Ingle, he probably needed to relight the fire, to go back with him, to give 100% to Dominic Ingle. And Dom's a class coach, and he's brilliant. He actually, Kell works with another nutritionist and stuff like that, but Dom makes it easy for him because Dom eats good. You know what I mean? Like they're living the life together then. Whereas like when I was in Fort Ventura, I was in camp with Kell for the Terence Crawford fight.
Yeah.
And like I was the only guy. Like he had a Spanish coach, another Spanish boxer was there with this coach, and another boxer for Monaco. So these two other professional boxers were there, living in Kellsville as well, and this Spanish coach that was coaching Kell. And they were out for dinner every night. And I'm like, this guy's fighting for a world title in 6 weeks. Like, and I know, like, I've never fought for a world title, but I've fought for titles. And I've put myself through hell. I know what it feels like. And I know how shit it is on a Saturday night when your mum and dad and that's going to take away. Never mind every night in the week, we're out for dinner. You know what I mean? Like I went over there, and I think that's probably how we bonded so much and created like quite a bit of relationship as mates. Because for the minute I landed, like I was like, whatever you're doing, I'm doing it. And I went to these shops, I got my food for the week, and I was just dieting same as him, and I done all the sessions with him, and like we sparred the Monday, and then I said to him, what time are you back in the gym tonight? He says, oh, I just flew here for sparring. He's like, you didn't need to like train every time I'm training. That he's like, I just need you like for the round sparring and that. And I was like, nah, I was like, I flew away for Ventura. I says, I came here for training camp. I says, I'll be doing what you're doing. And then it's like people also get the thing, like they watch the Floyd Mayweathers, right? And Floyd Mayweather jumps at the gym and he's doing it in Vegas Strip and he's doing this and he's blah blah, and like people think that's how all world champions live. And like I'm sitting there, and believe it or not, I'm really into road biking, like and Kell Brooke's actually quite into it as well. So I actually started watching like stuff on Netflix, like Icarus and stuff like that. Just stuff, just any shit to pass the time, really. And like I'm sitting there like after dinner, and like the two of us are lying bossed after training. All these Spanish guys are out for food, and like people messaging me, what's it like living with Kell Brooke? Like, what's like what he's doing in that? I'm like, we just ate fucking chicken, rice and broccoli and lying watching Netflix, you know what I mean? Like there isn't really much going on. And I think a lot of people think that like once you get to that kind of stage, like that kind of stardom stage, that like you just don't need to do that anymore. Like the guys still go through the process. You know what I mean?
That's good that you were there to actually just shadow everything he was doing. As you said, that's kind of made it. You're not just there for the I
beat him.
Yeah,
I beat him. I beat him in the runs and all that and everything.
Yeah, sorry.
That's how he started calling me Iron Man.
You know, I trained with you for one session I hit, so I know exactly how. I was like, I could come away going, I'm absolutely hooked, and that was your warm up for getting into like another 3-hour session. I was like, fuck this, man! Like, ridiculous, man. Never ridiculous.
We do have
but to be honest, it like going out there and like know that I wouldn't have done it, and I never done it for Kell Brooke's approval, but I know how hard it is, and like I've been there myself, but generally I would have done that anyway. Like it's kind of like who am I? I wouldn't just go and I wouldn't half-arse it, go sparring and then going out for dinner and then saying about this and doing about that and stuff. But it's paid off for me as well. Like just through contacts and stuff like that. And since then I've been at Ingles sparring a lot, and I sparred Billy Joe Saunders down there, Liam Williams and stuff like that, and obviously kept in contact with Kell Brooke, and it's been a good kind of contact to build. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Nice.
Probably the better option than just doing a bit of sparring and then heading out for some sangria and paella or something.
Exactly. I don't know. Is it the better option, or what sounds better to you?
Well,
for me, it's the training.
For me, it's the world title, it's the glory. You know, that's what I'm going for. So.
I'm going to be the only honest one and say I wouldn't have even bothered sparring. I'd have been in the pub all day.
Oh yeah.
Aye.
Sangria, estrella, and some chorizo. One last question for you. We've been building up a bit of a back bar podcast playlist on Spotify. So I've been getting each of our previous guests to name their kind of their go-to song, whether it's your kind of the song that gets you going on a run or like before training session, or whether it's just your favorite kind of chill out number for after all that stuff. But give us a song.
Revolution. Revolution. What I know.
Revolution. Many of you writing that one down?
Yeah. Who's it by?
Revolution. R-E-B. Why are you asking me to spell this?
No. So is that the band?
Yes.
And what's the song called?
What I know.
That's fine. I'll find it for you. Don't you worry, mate. What I know.
I'll send you a link to it, no problem.
Right, okay. I'll find that. I'll find it.
But just don't ask me to spell it, because that would be a nightmare.
I've got it already. Yeah.
Got it. Don't worry. Sorted.
No, get that added.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, it's been brilliant, mate. Thank you for giving out your time for a bit of chat. It's been really good banter tonight.
Really good.
Well, thanks very much.
And I think we'll definitely, once you've got everything sorted, which I'm sure you will, from your second or 500th opinion of your scan,
Yeah,
you're all set for September. We'll be down there cheering you on, and
definitely.
yeah, paella at the sides.
I promise I won't boo
Aye,
you.
perfect, mate.
I promise I won't boo you. Yeah.
No.
Will you buy a ticket?
Absolutely.
Damn right. We'll be there. Don't you worry.
Podcast loyalties, mate. That's fine.
Perfect. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for
Thanks, Kieran.
Thank you.
Mate.
Good luck,
Cheers,
mate.
Kieran.
Good luck.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
pal.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
There you go.
There we go. That was good, man.
It's good, lad.
Get back.
I like him. So do you say he does like sparring sessions? Is that like for anybody? Like I feel warmed up now, you know. I feel like I can loosen off my shoulders, do a couple of shoulder rolls.
Can we live stream it?
Let's say touch my toes. Like I think I did that once. So yeah.
Me and Minnie can be sitting to the side with our headsets on, commentating.
I'll be the weight. I'll just sit.
Do you know that's the thing is like with these guys at boxing, like they talk about like tippy tappy and all this kind of stuff. See if you were like having like a little sparring session. See just him unloading one punch, like it'd be fucking night, or like not even night. It would be fucking you jaw time. Like I'd be like fucking what's his face was wired jaw, Big Easy. You know, I don't feel too good.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't fancy taking a punch.
That was good to catch up with him, man. I'm looking forward to that. That'd be a good wee night out, man. See him spend the guy's a machine. See some of the stuff you see that he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Honestly. Every time it totally puts me off my chocolate.
Well, it's weird when I'm watching YouTube, watching him train while eating chocolate.
I laugh, yeah. You could have done that a bit faster.
I'll tell you what I would have done. He needs more cardio in the gym to become a better boxer. If you want to go somewhere, son.
You're almost drowning in Ben and Jerry's as you're
Just get this big room for all the Cadbury buttons. I mean, is yours that fast, really? When's the last time I done 3 continuous hours of exercise? Jesus Christ. Aye. Well, there we go. There we go. We're back in the saddle, lads. Back in. We've got the buzz again.
Hey, that was good. That was right good.
So do you think we'll do more of these? I think we're good to get back into it.
Yes.
Episode 31 coming up soon.
Yes,
with somebody and us.
It's exciting because we don't know who it is.
So we'll be interviewing Minnie in the next episode.
It's TBC because we need to decide to tell who to turn down and tell them we can't fit them in.
I know. I mean, I've switched notifications off because Kevin Hart does not leave me alone. But yeah, we'll work it out.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we'll sort it. But listen, it was an absolute pleasure, guys. Good to get back.
That's been splendid.
Yeah.
And well, the next one will be coming back again soon.
Yeah, and just make sure you speak to your agent, Gemmell, because you're getting cut out.
Yeah, I'll get my deal sorted.
Yeah.
Getting Ari Gold on this one.
Watch, be careful. You might be in a boxing camp in Fort Insurance.
Paella guy. Get the paella guy.
I'll be with the Spanish lads.
That's it. You be the waiter. You be the one right there. Just like that. Can I get you anything else? I got you.
Black pepper.
You want me to wash these pants? Are these good?
Just be ironing everyone's clothes for them. I'd actually probably enjoy that. Sadly.
You would.
Hey lads, A pleasure.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Pleasure as always. Take care, everyone. And remember, check out the Just Giving page.
Just give us your money. Good cause.
Don't give us your money. Just give
Give it to the charity.
Yeah.
Love it. Right.
Laters.
Peace out.
See you later.